and welcome back to another edition of Metcalf's Movie Journal. This is the show where I do quick reviews for the movies that I watch, give them a score out of 10, and then add them to my list. So let's see what movie we're reviewing today. On March 2nd, I watched Demolition, which came out in 2015. And this was the story of a rich, borderline sociopathic man getting over the death of his wife, who he didn't even love, by smashing a bunch of expensive as hell looking stuff. I wish I had that kind of endless bankroll to burn, that I could take a sledgehammer to my beautiful glass house anytime something upsetting happened in my life. Dreams, I guess, right? It's probably not the healthiest way to deal with trauma, but it sure looks like the most fun. Jake Gyllenhaal is the man in question here, and he's easily one of the most confounding and confusing actors to me in Hollywood. Because it's usually fairly easy to recognize the talent on display in his movies, but the movies he chooses to do have a tendency to be these more artistic or film festival style movies, and they just aren't my style. This didn't go as far to that extreme as, say, Nocturnal Animals or The Lighthouse, thankfully, because I just cannot handle that level of pretentiousness in a movie. With the scale of pretentiousness in movies, you'd have, say, a silent black and white film with that classic Finn ending on one end, and at the other would be Michael Bay and all that ridiculous Hollywood schlock. And I have to admit, I generally prefer the more Hollywood-style movies. For something similar to this one that I watched recently, that I enjoyed a bit more, I'd be more inclined to recommend Welcome to Marwen. Both center around victims working through their recovery process, but Welcome to Marwen definitely has a more classic Hollywood style, and also a much more likable protagonist. The only time Gyllenhaal's character of Davis is even remotely sympathetic is when he interacts with the kid belonging to his new love interest Karen, played by Naomi Watts. But even there, it's undercut by the fact that he's essentially just teaching this kid to behave like him. It can come across as friendly and trying to help the kid toughen up, but in reality, he has nothing but bad advice to dole out, and the simple fact that Davis is trying to build this new relationship so soon after his wife's death makes it difficult to ever see him in a positive light. I still don't find his character as repulsive as some others I've seen in movies recently, Michael Douglas, but I think a lot of that is down to my general love for Jake Gyllenhaal, because on paper, he's only ever using the loss of his wife as an excuse to revert to this extremely selfish behavior. There's an effort to almost justify the way he acts, like he's some kind of noble truth-teller, no longer bound to everyday social norms. But I can only ever see him as a spoiled child throwing a tantrum. Chris Cooper plays the role of Phil, Davis's father-in-law, and it would have been completely understandable for the parents who just lost their daughter to be a bit upset with Davis and his attitude, but they keep trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Phil is actually Davis's boss and even offers to let him take time off work to help him get himself right. And when Davis brought Karen to his dead wife's memorial service, I don't know how he didn't catch a punch in the face for it. That was probably the biggest emotion this one got for me, just wanting to see Davis get what he deserved, but sadly it never came. I don't want to watch a spoiled rich asshole actively fight against the people trying to help him grow up, unless it's going to build to some kind of huge epiphany moment, like in A Christmas Carol. But sadly, there's nothing like that here. So I ended up giving it a 3 out of 10, and it landed at number 1,215 on my list, putting it right here, in between Naked Gun 33 and a third, and Tim Burton's remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So thanks for watching. Thanks for watching another edition of Metcalf's Movie Journal. Be sure to click like and subscribe for new videos every week. And if you have a movie that you really want me to watch, be sure to drop me a comment.